On a quiet farm, nestled among rolling green hills, lived a proud horse and a hard-working donkey. The horse was a magnificent creature, strong and tall, with a shiny coat that glistened in the sun. Everyone on the farm admired him as he carried his master with an air of elegance and unmatched confidence. He was the picture of grace and power. The donkey, on the other hand, was humble and diligent. His days were filled with labor. From the moment the sun rose until it dipped below the horizon, he carried heavy sacks of grain to and from the market. His work was relentless, a constant cycle of loading, walking, and unloading. He did it all without a single complaint. One afternoon, the sun blazed down with an unforgiving intensity. The air was thick and still, and the heat shimmered above the dusty road. The path ahead was long, winding, and uphill. The donkey, already tired from his morning's work, felt his strength begin to fade. The sacks on his back seemed to grow heavier with every single step. His legs started to tremble under the crushing weight, and his breath came in short, shallow gasps. He looked over at the horse, who was trotting along with ease, carrying only the farmer. Gathering what little energy he had left, the donkey spoke softly, his voice barely a whisper. "Please," he pleaded, "could you help me? The load is too much for me today. If you could just take a small portion, I think I can make it to the end of the journey." But the horse just snorted, lifting his head high with arrogance. "That is not my responsibility," he replied coldly, his voice dripping with disdain. "You were given your burden, and I was given mine. You must carry your own." With that, he flicked his tail and trotted ahead, leaving the donkey to struggle alone in a cloud of dust. The donkey watched him go, his heart sinking. He tried to push forward, to keep up, but it was no use. Step after agonizing step, the sacks felt like they were pushing him into the ground. His breathing became slow and painful, and the relentless heat drained the very last of his strength. The world around him started to spin. Suddenly, the donkey's front legs buckled. He stumbled, trying desperately to regain his footing, but his body had nothing left to give. With a final, exhausted sigh, he collapsed onto the hot, dusty road, unable to move. The farmer, hearing the thud, quickly dismounted and rushed to the donkey's side. His face filled with concern as he saw the poor animal lying motionless. He tried to get the donkey to stand, but it was clear he couldn't continue the journey. The farmer knew he had to act fast. With no other choice, he untied all the heavy sacks of grain from the donkey's back. One by one, he lifted them and placed them onto the proud horse. The horse grunted, surprised by the sudden weight. But that wasn't all. The farmer then carefully lifted the exhausted donkey and laid him across the horse's back as well. Now, the horse was forced to carry everything. The entire load of heavy grain and the full weight of the donkey. The enormous burden was staggering. The proud horse, who had refused to carry even a small portion, now struggled under the immense weight. Each step was a painful effort, and his confident trot slowed to a miserable, shuffling walk. As he labored along the steep road, sweat dripping from his body, he remembered the donkey's simple request for help. A wave of regret washed over him. He thought to himself, if only I had shared a little bit of his load. If only I had shown a small kindness. By refusing to help, he hadn't escaped the burden. He had ended up with a much, much heavier one. And so, the proud horse learned a very important lesson that day. A lesson etched into his memory with every painful step he took. When we refuse to help others in their time of need, we often find that we end up carrying a far greater burden ourselves. Kindness is a small price to pay, but pride can cost you everything.
Thanks so much for watching. If you learned from our story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content just like this. See you next time!
Bye!